Hi, this is Amy O'Donnell. I'm the Communications Director for Texas Alliance for Life, and I'm here today with Heather Gardner. She's the Executive Director of Central Texas Coalition for Life. Hi, Heather.
Hi. Good to be here. Thank you.
I would love for you to tell people watching today a little bit about Central Texas Coalition for Life and what your mission is and what you do.
Sure. So our mission is to end abortion in the Central Texas area peacefully and prayerfully. The way that we do that, there's several different ways, but to put it simply, it's prayer, fasting, community outreach and education, and regular prayer vigils year-round outside of our local abortion facilities in Central Texas.
Awesome. I imagine some watching today might be wondering how successful prayer vigils really can be in saving lives. What kind of success have you seen personally, and what kind of success have you heard about across the state and maybe even across the nation?
Sure. Well, I have had the pleasure of being able to witness several moms change their minds and choose life right on the sidewalk after a dedicated prayer volunteer just peacefully reached out to them, shared with them information, filled them with hope, and empowered them to look at their other options and make better, healthier decisions for them and their baby. We have over 280 babies that we know of here in Central Texas that have been saved, and moms that have been saved just in the past few years. But those are only the ones that we see. There's many, many more that we we'll never get to see. Sometimes we hear about them years later. So for instance, in this very spot, actually many times in the past, we've had a mom that has walked up to us or parked nearby and said, "Hey, my little son right here who's 4 years old was about to be aborted in this place that you're standing in front of, and I didn't tell anybody that day, but I took your information and I changed my mind, and I just wanted to say thank you." And so there's many, many stories and examples like that. One of the on top of all the lives that have been saved, one of the highlights in my life personally is seeing firsthand Abby Johnson have her conversion and leave the abortion industry. I was blessed to be a part of the original Coalition for Life in Bryan College Station, where we started the 40 Days for Life prayer vigils. And at the time, I was a volunteer and then a staff member. And then right after I became a staff member, we prayed outside of Abby's former facility in Bryan, and she left in October of 2009. And then when she left, you asked, like, what are the results? How effective is it? When she left, one of the big, huge things she told us, which if you saw the movie Unplanned, you heard this, that at her last Planned Parenthood convention, or I think it was National Abortion Federation convention, Planned Parenthood was there and shared from their own numbers that when people are peacefully praying outside of abortion facilities, of course they call us anti-choice protesters, but we're here to pray and peacefully offer information. But when people are peacefully outside, not aggressive, not mean, not waving ugly signs or anything like that, taking that peaceful approach, the no-show rate for abortion appointments can rise as high as 75%. And that is something that we were like, really, oh my gosh. And they said so many more women change their mind than what you see and what, numbers that you record. And so that to me alone is motivation enough to keep doing what we're doing and to always look for ways to effectively reach out and change hearts and save lives.
Very moving, very, very moving. And you mentioned this spot right here. You've seen babies saved, lives transformed. Can you tell people watching who may not be familiar with where we are, what this building behind us is?
Sure. So we are standing outside of Planned Parenthood on East Ben White Boulevard in Austin, Texas. And Planned Parenthood, this particular Planned Parenthood does abortions all the way up to 20 weeks. They used to do them up to 24 weeks. So, but then thanks to the amazing work of groups such as Texas Alliance for Life, the number was reduced. And so now they're only able to go up to 20 weeks, which is still too high. We want it to be 0 weeks, but they will do abortions usually 3 or 4 days a week. And so we have regular prayer volunteers throughout the year that come and pray here. And we've talked with many abortion workers here before, offered them information. And so this is one of our locations, but this is very similar to many locations across the state and across the country.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned earlier 40 Days for Life. There's a 40 Days for Life prayer and fasting campaign that kicks off on Wednesday, next Wednesday, and Ash Wednesday. And so I'd love for you to tell people kind of how you work within that campaign with the Central Texas Coalition for Life, how they can be a part of it, how they can sign up, and also a little bit about your sidewalk counseling training and kind of how they could go about being a part of that if they're interested. And so kind of those two things, if you don't mind just sharing them.
Sure. So 40 Days for Life, as you said, Amy, starts this coming Wednesday, February 26th. It runs through Sunday, April 5th. And the whole point of 40 Days for Life is to really motivate people to put their faith into action. And as I'm sure many of our listeners are aware, the number 40 is very significant biblically. That signifies a period of change, and it's supposed to be change for the better. And so that's why the original Coalition for Life started 40 Days for Life, because they really wanted to motivate people to sign up for a weekly prayer hour. And is what most people do, is they'll sign up for a weekly prayer hour, same day, same time every week for those 40 days outside of one of their local abortion facilities. So 40 Days for Life was meant to be a one-time campaign in Bryan College Station in 2004. And then word kind of got out about it to different pro-life groups across the country. It ended up spreading so far that people were like, we should do this national effort. And so it became its own entity. So now 40 Days for Life is its own entity. It's an international campaign that happens twice a year, once during the Christian season of Lent in the springtime and once during the fall in September and October. And so we are essentially now like a chapter of 40 Days for Life. There's many chapters, or there's many locations. I actually don't have the exact number, but I think what I heard last was that we have over 500 locations for this upcoming campaign that have signed on. Starting Wednesday, we have 500 places all over the world with thousands upon thousands of peaceful prayer volunteers simply praying for an hour. That's the thing. It may not be an easy thing to do, because we recognize the reality of what's going on beyond the walls, that children's lives are being snuffed out and women are being harmed, that healthcare standards are incredibly low and abysmal at these places and should not be accepted, but they get by because it's an abortion facility. And so all you have to do is simply come and pray for an hour. And then for those who want to pray but also reach out and talk to women, our group here in Central Texas does have a really effective sidewalk counselor, also known as sidewalk advocate training, where we learn what fetal development is. How can we reach out to a woman? How can we encourage dialogue with her, get her to share about what's going on, because so many of these women just need somebody to listen to her. And so that's what we're here to do, and we're there to let them know, hey, we've done the homework. We know that there are other places you can go. No matter how well the abortion industry markets itself, they are not the only place women can go to, and in fact, they're the worst option for women, because they have very low standards of health care. They have workers who usually aren't even properly licensed to do the things that they're doing, and they are taking the lives of children and harming women for life, and men too who are affected by abortion. So we're there to offer that hope for them, offer healing if they've had an abortion in their past, and we want to let them know there are so many other places in the area that are available for health care where you don't have to have such low standards, and you can have an answer, you can have a listening ear, you can have somebody walk through these struggles with you.
So what I hear you saying is we really care about the babies. We also really care about the women. And I just want to thank you for doing everything that you do. And I applaud you for every baby's life that you've saved, every woman you've prayed for. And just, I want to encourage you to keep up the good work. And we're so grateful to partner with you in this.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes.